On the seventh pitch, Harper hits one in the air, left center field, back it goes! Harper, the swing of his life!
That call that you just saw featured a very important broadcaster cheat. And on this episode of Crafting the Call, we're going to talk tips, hacks, different things that we've learned along the way. Welcome in. I'm Jesse Goldberg-Strassler with the Lansing Lugnuts.
I'm Josh Sushan, play-by-play announcer for the Albuquerque Isotopes.
Josh,
what do you got for us, Jesse?
Yeah, you know. Okay, so I'd like you to start this call again, but I'd like you to stop it on after Joe Davis says Harper. He's going to say, on the seventh pitch, Harper.
All right, here we go, Jesse. I'm going to press play.
On the seventh pitch, Harper.
On the seventh pitch, Harper.
And then crack. So this is what I call the Joe Buck cheat. Joe Davis has said that he uses this because he picked it up from Joe Buck. Joe Buck picked it up from his dad. And Josh, I find that this is a really effective way to get the name out of the way and then get right into the action as to whatever happens in the at-bat.
I want to watch it again.
On the seventh pitch, Harper.
On the seventh pitch, Harper.
Hits one in the air, left center field, back it goes! Harper, the swing of his life!
Why is that so effective?
Because he's able to launch into the verb. He's able to launch directly into what happens. He doesn't have to get anything out of the way in front. I was in the Southern League when Jared Saltalamacchia was coming up through the Brave system. And I would just try to say Saltalamacchia anytime he did anything, and the play would be over before I finished his name. If you get that name out and you can say it for the pitcher, and there are times when Joe Buck, Joe Davis, whomever else has said the pitcher's name first because they're getting ready for a strikeout. You say the hitter's name first, you're ready for the hitter to do something. You could always come back with Harper takes. But when something happens, you're launching into that call.
You have to save that for big moments, right?
It's up to you, especially if you want to practice it, especially if you want to get used to doing it and try to have fun with it. If you listen to Kirk Gibson's home run off of Dennis Eckersley, Jack Buck on the radio says Gibson before the result of the pitch transpires.
So this episode is about broadcasting hacks, huh?
Yes, and tips. This is one, the Joe Buck cheat, and different little things that we've picked up along the way just to make broadcasting easier. This, I would argue, is something that makes play-by-play easier. Just say the person's name right before the pitch arrives.
I got one for you.
Okay. Josh, how do you know when to give the score?
If this thing is empty, I know it's been 2 minutes since I've said the score. And whenever I say the score, I turn it over and I see the sand timer doing its magic. And I know that when it's empty, I haven't said the score in 2 minutes. Now, I want to say the score whenever there's a new batter. I don't always remember. Maybe the at-bat is done in one pitch, and I don't need to say it again. Maybe it's a 13-pitch at-bat. Maybe it's just a 7-pitch at-bat. And I look down and I realize it's been 2 minutes since I've said the score. At least 2 minutes since I've said the score. I have a 2 minute, I have a 3 minute, I have a 1 minute, I have a 5 minute. I feel like 2 minute is the best. And but I have multiple in case I lose one or in case something happens to it. I think a sand timer is a really effective way to remind yourself to say the score often, over and over again.
I like that you matched it to your shirt today. All right, here's my next one for you. I call this the 9-minute prep. There are 9 players in a starting lineup. And what I'll do is I'll set a timer on my phone for 9 minutes. And I'll pull up every single hitter in the starting lineups, splits, their stats, their game log, just their offensive page. And then I look through and I'll just go through boom, boom, boom. Each guy, I'll find one split and I'll write that down and I'll move on to the next guy. And I give myself 9 minutes to do this. And it streamlines everything. Now I don't get bogged up in trying to pour through those stats and find something. This guy's hitting 330 at home and he's hitting 210 on the road. Boom, write that down, move on. This guy is doing this against lefties. He's doing this against righties. Write that down, move on. This guy is currently on an 18 game on base streak. Write that down and move on. Because in the past, when I've really dove in and I've spent a full hour on trying to figure out statistically what is standing out for every single hitter and writing it all down, well, you can hear that in my broadcast, that I'm just trying to dive into it. And now it's getting deeper and deeper. And here's the pitch. It's fouled away. And did you know this? But when I do the 9 minutes, then I know that guy will stand up there. Here's the pitch. It's a little low. We're on the road. He's hitting 330 on the road this year. It's over 100 points better than being, at home. Here's the pitch. That's all I need to say. And you as the listener go, okay, now 9-minute offensive prep has helped me out so much.
I love that idea for game 1 of the series when you're trying to learn a new team, right? We play a 6-game series in the minor leagues. Do you do that all 6 games of the series? Is that ideal for a certain day or what?
I don't do it for all 6 games, but I'll do it when I haven't done it for a little bit. So over the course of a series, you're getting to know guys. You're starting to figure out, all right, let me bring this up, especially in talking to the players. All right, I want to make sure that I tell this story on the air. Or I talk to the other broadcaster. Oh, that's good. I'm going to tell this on the air. But there's always going to be one game over the course of that series where I go, 9-minute prep today. Let's go.
All right, so there's 2 features that we have sold on the Isotopes broadcast. We have Malibu Moments in the major leagues. I can also make it Malibu Moments in the minor leagues. And the other one is Ultra Moments in Isotopes history, brought to you by Michelob Ultra. This is a hack, but it has become my philosophy that I do not want to do either one of those features when the Isotopes are batting. I do not want to get distracted from the Isotope scoring runs because I have this feature that I need to do. I want to focus on describing the Isotope scoring runs. So I only want to do those features. And this could be an out-of-town scoreboard. This can be an organization report. This can be whatever. I want to do these features when the other team is batting so that if my story gets interrupted, so what? It's the other team. And also, if the other team is scoring a whole bunch of runs, well, I've got something else to talk about too. But the main point is, it's not so much that, let's distract the audience from the other team scoring runs. It's more about, I want my focus to be on the Isotope scoring runs if they have a rally going, and not what happened on this day in 2013, not what happened on this day in 1946. So again, I don't know if it's a hack as much as it's a philosophy that I want the features that I have to do to be when the other team is batting.
I do think that it is. You are letting the listener know what's important. There have been certain pitchers who we had Gage Jump coming up through the minors. And so when he was on the mound, I would tell stories. I'd do Today in Baseball History when our offense was batting, because if he was on the mound, I was locked in. You're letting your listeners know what's important. Hey, this half inning, I'm going to tell you a story. This half inning, let's see if we can get some runs.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about the second batter's secret. Okay. When you're broadcasting a game, you got 9 innings. And that really means 18 half innings, 17 half innings. We'll see. As you start the game, you're telling the story of the starting pitcher. Let's tell the story of each batter as they come up for the first time, maybe get a little bit deeper into the starting pitcher. But then you got the business innings at the late part of the game. There is going to come those half innings where you go, what am I going to talk about here? Especially if the game isn't that engrossing. So the second batter's secret is this. When you enter the half inning and you look ahead, you can look during the commercial break, who's going to be the second batter coming up. The first batter, all you've got to do is just call that batter normal, and we'll see how that bat goes. Here's the guy, he's leading off. Here's what he's done. Here's the score. But the second batter, you're going to launch into something, and you can even give yourself some help in the pregame just by understanding, if this guy comes up, here's my topic. If this guy comes up, here's my topic. And this is where you get to have fun. If this player is my second batter, well, his alma mater is in the College World Series. Let's talk College World Series. If this guy comes up, well, this is going to lead me into talking about how his mom loves to bake in this and brings it in. Whatever that topic is, it's the second batter secret. And even if that at-bat lasts one pitch, that is going to be your topic to carry you through a half inning unless something exciting happens. And if something exciting is happening, you don't need anything to carry you through that half inning. But the second batter, that's the secret. That'll help you out in the middle innings.
Interesting. Do you ever kind of preview it like, Sushan's at the plate, Goldberg Strassler's on deck, and maybe even like give it like a little hint of what you're going to talk about with the guy on deck, knowing that he's going to be batting here soon?
Oh, you bet. That's where it's fun. That's where you say, hey, coming up this inning, we'll talk about this. First broadcaster I ever heard who would give that tease was Vin Scully. Vin Scully, while I was locked into a broadcast, as we go to the seventh inning, I'm going to tell you this half inning about the time that Tommy Lasorda had to walk back to the hotel after a game. And then he tied it in with the guys who were coming up, and then I was locked in for story time. So yes, as we go on, here's the score, here's this batter, here's this guy in the on-deck circle, and then here comes the tease, and it's great.
I would think that it's even greater when the second batter of the inning gets on base, because now you can keep talking about that because he's at first base, he's at second base, he's taking his lead, and you can keep going back to him.
Well, especially if, and because we've got so much leeway here, I might have talked with that second batter all about stealing bases. I might have talked with him all about something that I can refer back to in this game. How do you get your lead? Whatever it might be, that second batter carrying the inning. The first time I ever heard it was with Dan Schulman. I always thought, well, you call the first batter and you call the second batter and you call the third batter. And that totally took the ease, that took all that onus of pressure off my mind and made it easier. And I end up having a lot more fun calling the half inning.
Interesting. I like that one. Let me see if I can incorporate that into my broadcast tonight. The second, what do you call it again? The second batter?
It's the second batter secret.
Second batter secret. The second batter secret. All right. I like it. The second batter secret. All right.
Let me ask you, how do you build good relationships with your players and coaches?
Ooh, it's a good question. I feel like one of the most important things is to not force it. A lot of times early in the season, I might feel like I'm not bonding with these guys quick enough, fast enough. And I think I've learned over the years, it's okay. Don't force it. I naturally end up developing better bonds with guys who are position players because I can talk to them around the batting cage. So I like to be around the batting cage. I don't always say anything. Don't always need to have a lot of conversation. I don't want to be the guy who won't shut up, but I want to be the guy who's there to add a little something, ask guys questions. Here's something that I started doing on accident. There happens to be a baseball here, so I can use this as a prop. So the year is 2021. We are in Sugar Land. It's right after that we were allowed to start being around the players again because of COVID. And I'm in the dugout. Warren Schaefer was the Isotopes manager. He's now the Rockies manager. He's hitting ground balls to the infielders. And he yells at me and he goes, Josh, come up here. Flip me the ball so that he doesn't have to bend down to pick up a baseball to hit it. So I started flipping him the ball. And over the course of the season, especially when there was two coaches and they were both hitting fungos, I flipped the ball to each coach. Now it's part of my routine to the point where if I'm not there, our current manager starts yelling at me, Josh, where are you? These are your responsibilities. I joke about adding it to my LinkedIn page. What I really like about it is that it becomes such an informal way to be a part of the team, even though I'm not really part of the team. It's a really easy way to start conversation. Oh, how about that play from last night's game? Oh, hey, what happened with that play yesterday? It's not me walking into the office, sitting down where it feels very formal. Oh, I'm sitting down to ask you a question about yesterday's game. No, you're hitting ground balls. I'm flipping you the ball as you hit ground balls. You can make a reaction about, oh, look at that guy's arm. Oh, what do you think about this? And the players see it. And whether or not they really think about oh yeah, the broadcaster doesn't usually flip balls to the coach as he's hitting ground balls. Oh, he's part of us. He's kind of around us or whatever. And so it's fun. It keeps me involved, gives me an excuse to go down to the field. It's a reason to be down on the field. And I feel like it's a really good way to bond with our coaches, with our infielders, with anybody where I'm kind of out there part of their pregame preparation.
I love that. You need to put that on your resume. Have I ever told you about the roster check?
No. What's the roster check?
One of my favorite ways to engender myself to a player, especially one I've never met before, is I grab a roster and I walk on down and I walk over to the guy and I go, hey, is this all right? Is this really your height and weight? Because rosters are so often incorrect. And it's, oh, let me make sure I've got your hometown right. Where is that? How's that pronounced? Let me make sure. All I've got to do is just say, is this roster correct? And that builds the relationship because he sees that I care enough just to make sure that everything is accurate for him. And from there, that's such a great jumping off point to have a good conversation.
So in AAA, we travel mostly by flights. And so I'm involved in a lot of our team travel as well. And so sometimes I arrive at the airport before the team does. Sometimes I arrive when the team does. I try to be the first one to get up to the counter. And so even just like passing out room keys at hotels, passing out, plane tickets, calling guys over, in case there's any sort of problem or issue, or, I feel like it's a really informal, easy way to just talk to guys. And they realize, oh yeah, this guy's in it with me too. He's involved in trying to make the process a little bit simpler. And, like a couple of days ago, we had a flight and there was a pitcher, and it was a day game, and it looked like he was having problems breathing, but I didn't know on the air. And I was kind of speculating that, you're trying to couch it. We don't know for sure, but it looks like he might be having problems breathing. It's just the altitude in Albuquerque, blah, blah, blah. Didn't see him the next day. Saw him at the airport. It's like, hey, what was going on with you? And then he explains that, that he was not feeling well, that he was sick, that he was worried that he might actually throw up on the mound, that he was trying to stay hydrated. And so he's going through the story of what was happening with him, and I was telling him how, hey, man, that was huge. You pitched into the 5th inning on a day that you were struggling and we needed it. And so it was a way of bonding with someone away from the field about something that happened on the field. And as of the date that we were recording this episode, he's pitching tonight. And so now I'm armed with more information that I can share with the audience about how he gutted his way through this outing. And so, I don't want to be the guy who's always trying to buddy up with guys at the airport, on planes, on buses, and things like that. But I think that if it's just a natural thing where you're next to each other, I think it provides a good way to kind of build that type of bond.
Yeah, it's the natural respect. And then you start having where a guy will just start up a conversation with you.
Yeah, I think that the longer you're in a league, even if it's just as much as like, hey, where do you go eat around here? Or let people know, like, hey, have you tried that spot over that way? Hey, there's a good Thai place over there. Or, hey, there's a good Mexican place over that direction.
It's one of my favorites. Is just giving out restaurant recommendations or letting guys know, hey, this is the upcoming road trip. You'll like it. Or this is the upcoming road trip. It's going to be tough. Here's how you get through it. We're all in this together. Because I'm in the lower levels of the minors. Some of the players get shocked when they see me on the road and they go, hey, you're here too? Yeah, I'm here too.
Yeah.
Let me give you a weird one that it's taken me by surprise, but I know that you follow this. I did not understand a positive result of putting a camera in the broadcast booth. I thought, okay, we've got a GoPro in the broadcast booth put up by my broadcast partner. This is great. However, I was raised, it's not a look at me broadcast. People shouldn't be watching us. Let's just watch what's going on the field. We're going to call on what's out there on the field. However, once I started looking back on it, I realized that my body language comes out on the air. And so if I'm pumping my fist, or if I'm feeling it, if I'm standing up, or if I'm just sitting at the microphone talking, you can hear it. So just that very little adjustment of feel it a little bit more, feel what's happening out there, and being able to check in with the camera on the booth. Okay, how did I react to this? What am I seeing? How am I going through it? And how is this therefore going out on the air? I feel like it's helped out my broadcasts a lot.
What I also notice is, do I look down? Ball hit to left field. Do I look down to make sure I know the left fielder's name, or do I have it memorized where I don't have to look down? And what difference does it make when I say, here's the 2-1 pitch, drive to left center, and I look down to try to find the name and then look back up? So it's a good way.
we're always critiquing our own audio. It's so good to critique the video with the audio.
You know what I find interesting? Okay, so I just grabbed a pencil. I'm going to get the microphone over here. Get the baseball out of the way. So when I was in college and I took debate, I saw all these kids spinning pencils and pens in their hands. And I'm not very good at it, but I can only do like a half rotation. I do it all the time now without even realizing that I'm doing it. And it's almost like it's something that occupies the one part of my brain while the other part of my brain is over here. So I look back and I think it's hilarious when I watch my calls and how the pitch is coming. And I'm like, here's the 2-1 pitch, and I keep spinning this pencil on my finger without even realizing that I'm doing it because it's just become a habit over the years. And how, I don't know, maybe that takes some of the tension. Like, I don't put it this way. I don't want to be holding the pen or pencil like this. Now I've got tension in my hand and my body. If I'm like this, there's not tension in my body. It's a way of relaxing my hand and my mind as I describe the action.
So good. I would feel that very much with my hands, and I just grab my pants and I twist. What's helped me this year is going to a stick mic and just being able to hold that microphone. That puts me at ease. Stick mic has also been so much better for, I would peak. I can get very soft when I'm calling play-by-play.
Use your microphone to describe how you use it.
Yeah, I should. Like, here we go. So when you're just on headset, the microphone is staying right there. And so I've told you in the past that I would manually pull it away from my mouth, and it became such a great distraction. And so being able to bring it close and to be holding it and then turn around, look at my broadcast partner, look over here. It's not a weighty base. And so I manipulate it all over. And it's great to lean in, lean back, especially because I've got headphones on, which I don't have right now. So I apologize for talking louder and softer. I've just found that a stick microphone and the sound and the control that it brings me, I've found great comfort in the stick mic this year.
So let's say you've got it here and there's like a dramatic walk-off. Do you feel like you're moving it further away from you so that you don't peak?
I've got it in my head, and so I can hear exactly where it needs to be. And there's such a great feeling of being able to move it farther away and still hearing my voice come in strong. Have you ever talked in great acoustics where you just feel like you don't have to exert yourself in the slightest? You're just able to basically breathe your voice out in the world and your voice fills the space. As opposed to if there's so much noise around and you're just trying to force your voice out through all of that noise and it's a traffic jam. Well, because I've got that comfort of it, I know exactly where it needs to be. And then I'll just put it right beside me and then I'll sit next to it. So I'll just sit a little bit farther away.
You do have a stand.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a good base to it, but yeah, it's just given me great comfort this year. And I feel like my sound and my control has never been better.
How does how loud the crowd is, whether it's a small Wednesday night, whether it's a loud Thursday kids game, whether it's a really loud Saturday game, impact how close the mic has to be to you and your ability to talk over the crowd in the best way possible?
I guess I don't even think about talking over the crowd now.
Okay.
There's no, whereas when it was here, so have you seen those broadcasters who talk out of the side of their mouth?
Mm-hmm.
As they're talking right into the microphone, because the microphone's not fully in front, it's on the side. So as you're talking over here, I feel like I'm not battling the crowd, that I'm working with the crowd.
Okay, so I'm at the booth here at the Salt Lake Bees, and so here's the field, right? And so I like having my laptop to my left, so it's not in my vision. Right. I don't want the laptop to be in my vision. I want to be able to look out at the field, and I got a pencil, but I like having my left hand where the computer is in case I need to look something up. So when you're holding the mic, does that mess up your ability to look for something with the laptop with your left hand?
No, I've got my right hand. I'm right-handed, and I'll be scoring. I've got everything down. I can put the microphone down. I can be typing in. I've got everything to my right that I need to. And the way that I work and the way that Adam, my broadcast partner, work, we switch sides, home road. Sometimes I'll be on the right. Sometimes I'll be on the left. And each time it's just, okay, where's the computer going to be? Where's the scorebook going to be? Where's the monitor in the broadcast booth? And how will we figure everything out? And it's just become a very comfortable thing.
Now you have me curious to try this myself.
Yeah, it might feel awkward right away, but it slides in, and especially the kind of sound level that you get when you compare it with really good headphones. So now you've got an optimized mic, optimized headphones. It all just comes out so much easier, and you're working right there with the crowd in the sound check.
Are you using earbuds or still headphones?
I'm using the headphones.
Okay.
I went to, is it Sweetwater? I went to Sweetwater because it's all based out of Fort Wayne, and I tried out their wall of headphones. Just trying to be like, all right, let's see what's comfortable here.
I've seen a few other people hold on to the mic. I'm like, yeah, that would take a long time for me to get used to, I think. But I'm now curious to try it, even though in my mind I still don't think I'm going to like it. But I need to take it with an open mind and see if I could. Who knows? Maybe it changed my life.
The first broadcaster I saw who manipulated a microphone like that was Ken Korach with the stick mic. And I just remember him just working it around, and it felt like he was the MC of an event. And he's taking it around. He was so comfortable with it, and he's talking to his broadcast partner, and he's looking over here. And that was the first time that I thought, oh, a stick microphone isn't glued in place, that you really can use it to your own comfort level.
All right, engineers at Cumulus Radio in Albuquerque, got a new assignment for you.
Here's another one. What is your favorite snack? When you're hungry, you're thirsty, you need a pick-me-up over the course of a long season, of a game. I have started just keeping Cosmic Crisp apples around, and just an apple is such a good pick-me-up for me over the course of a long day.
Okay, I really don't have one, but now that you mentioned apple, you just reminded me when I went into a studio. So humble brag, I was the narrator for an audiobook about a book that I wrote. So I went into the studio to record it, and the engineer, who was awesome, I forget his name, but he was so great, he handed me some cut up apples before I started. And I'm like, no, I'm not hungry. He's like, no, this will take some of the S's and P's out of your voice when you eat these apples. And I went, are you serious? He's like, yes. I'm like, all right. So whenever we would take a break, be like, hey, you want another? And I was like, all right, yeah, give me a few more apples. Apples are good for you. I like it. And if it takes out some of the saliva in my mouth, yeah, let's do this.
It's crazy. Welcome to the world of apples. I'm so glad that you know this now.
Now, I mean, I know this and I've known this, but I haven't taken it upon myself to routinely eat apples between innings or right before a game. And maybe I need to start making this part of my habit.
It's just a good pick-me-up. It's good for the voice. It's good for the energy. It's healthy. It's crisp. Yeah, like find your apple.
What Vince Scully would do is he would take Jolly Ranchers and he would suck on the Jolly Ranchers between innings in order to make sure that it doesn't become too dry mouth. And I tried it, and I don't know. I like candy as much as the next person, but I like chocolate candy. So then it gets stuck in my teeth, or or something like that. And it didn't work for me.
Oh, that's so good. All right, that's what I've got for you. Those are my different tips that I've picked up along the way. You got anything else?
That's it. This is my biggest one. I can't emphasize this enough. There's times that I have forgotten or I look down and I realize it's broken, it's not working, I need to get a new one. And I cannot emphasize this enough. It's just such a visual reminder to say the score.
Josh, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Our time is up. For Josh Sushan, I'm Jesse Goldberg-Strasser. Cosmic Crisp. This has been Crafting the Call.